Good day, good morning, where I am at. I am having my morning coffee. I am here to do an energy update. I was up pretty much all night 2 nights ago, and I was getting all these downloads, and I was journaling all the things in the middle of the night. I don't know how spirit works, but I just go with it when I can. But so I thought I would just talk about that. I may be flopping all over the place when I'm talking because I just write what I'm channeled, and it brings me back and forth sometimes when spirit talks to me. They just say it in different ways sometimes. Yeah. Please, if you can, like, share, and subscribe this. I would really appreciate that. I wrote some notes here from when Spirit was talking to me. Right now, they're talking that it is a big, huge time to go quiet. To not just to go quiet, but really go inward. Go inward to be, to move into a space of quiet, to move into a space of flow, to listen to spirit, to be that person that is more space for other people, more understanding, seeing how the world is moving, if that makes sense to you, I hope. Being in a space of, are you moving from a space to be heard or to be seen, or are you moving in a space of grace, of knowledge, of no judgment? Are you moving where you are, how do I say this? That, we don't have to save the world. We don't have to save people. We don't have to, be in that space where we want to solve problems, where we want to, fix things for people. They're just saying, move from a space of your knowing, of your knowledge. And sometimes we need to move for ourselves. Okay. They're saying, be more space for other people. Be in a space where you can really listen without, solving problems, without giving answers. Can you do that? Can you be in that space where you are just listening and allowing all of that information to go through your filter, whether you are in alignment with what they're saying or not, without having to say, yes, I am, or not? Okay. They're telling me, move from purpose, move from your growth. We don't have to be fixing ourselves all the time, but we can move from what we know, what our knowledge is, how we feel we are in our truth, in our flow of who we are on our path, moving in that direction of, moving in the direction that you are following your very own path. Okay. They told me that your response to people, what is your response to people? Is it to be heard? Again, I'm going to be repeating myself a few times here, but is it to be heard? Is it to be seen? Is it for your story to be heard? Is it coming from a space of about you rather than about the other person? Responding to people. Do we need to respond to people? Do we, yes, we need to have our boundary 100%. We don't have to say, well, you're wrong. It's a space where you can just allow things to be what they need to be. You see it your way, I see it mine, but do we have to move into a space where we are putting fuel on the flame? And does it really matter? Do you need to be heard? That is where they're saying, are you moving from, needing to be heard to what you know is your truth, to stepping back and saying, this is good. I don't have to respond. I can just listen. I don't have to, solve. We're here where I've been doing a lot of going inward lately. And a lot more is being shown to me, and a lot more is more about being grace on my own journey and not having to involve everyone around me in that grace. I hope that makes sense to you. Um, yeah, and making sure that, you know, if something is not in alignment, that it's not in alignment. Why do we force ourselves into spaces that is not in alignment, to sacrifice, to have our energy being pulled down, all of those things? Yes, sometimes we need to move in grace in how, or in spaces that maybe are not in alignment, but ask yourself if that is serving you or not. It may or may not, right? There's more and more about integrity, really following that space, that integrity that is so important. If someone is not in alignment, then they're not in alignment. You it's more about following what you know is right for you, um, without having to sacrifice everything to be in that space. If you have someone that, if something is not in alignment, and you are forcing yourself to be there, you are putting yourself into suffering. And if people are not in alignment, they're not in alignment. You owe only yourself um, enough love to honor that, to be in that space of loving yourself enough. Are you putting yourself first? Um, what else do I have? More about going inward again. That was brought up a lot. Be discerning about, again, who you are with. Be discerning about what you are doing. If it is, again, it has to be in alignment, because if not, you're going to find that you're going to have more lessons to learn on your journey, and it becomes harder, right? Movement in a direction. Do you go with yourself or do you go with others? And making sure that, again, that's all about the alignment. And how can we create more joy and happiness in the world if we are not going inward enough to find that joy and happiness within ourselves? Because it's really hard to have your outside world happy when your inside world is chaos, okay? And they just said that we can't have a world without chaos if we are not discovering that within ourselves, that quietness, that space where we have that joy, where we have that true complete love for ourselves. And they keep bringing up about the unprogramming of, what we've been told to be, what we've been told to do. And our conditioning is so deep that, how do you undo conditioning? You must go inward. You must go, okay, well, this does not resonate with me any longer. I need to not reflect my way of living through that conditioning. So it's about finding your own truth, finding your own path, and really following it, and being in a space where you can be in awareness of your alignment, be in awareness of movement from a space of your truth, of your discerning, rather than from judgment, from what we've been told about ourselves, about others, about situations. So moving to go more inward, quieting the mind, quieting your pace. They're saying slow down. Do we have to run? Do we have to race? It is more about what feels right. I had a friend contact me last week, and it was about she was following her truth, but she was in a space where, do I do this because it's the right thing to do? And how do I discern between fear and what my truth is? And it's crazy how when we really sit and we really get to a space of discerning between that fear and what our truth is. It is really hard to discover it unless you slow down and really know and sit and feel your body. And whether that's feeling your body or knowing what you know, it is a space that is really hard to find unless you are going inward and quieting everything else around you and making decisions from that space. And it is a space to be more comfortable with in your journey to get to. I thank each and every one of you for being here, and October is going to be one of those months that you will be reflecting on how you react to people, how you moving forward in life, in your business, in whatever is this relates to you, of course. And it's going to be a space of really seeing where you're coming from, especially your reactions to people and their reactions to you when you're coming from that space of inwardness, moving outward. And we're all shifting, but we can be a piece of the joy, the happiness, the love. First, it has to come from the love for self and a space where it's coming from growth, from what you know is yours, true to yourself, and integrity. Integrity is so important. Discernment. If something doesn't feel right and you are moving with it, are you being discerning for yourself and sometimes for other people, right? Sometimes things just don't align and there's no judgment for that. It is just not energetically matched. Thank you for being here. That's what I have for today. I'd love to hear, even if you want to share some of your stories about things that you're going through. I have had some major shifts with people in my life the last little while, and it's being shown. It's where people are at. So thank you for being here, and I hope you have a magical day. Much love.